Hello and welcome back to the channel. Bit of a short replay for you today. Today we're taking a look at the Valentine Mk in a pretty short game on Sinai. It's a conquest layout, so we're going for the A cap. And the key takeaways from this video are going to be armor angling. So again, this is something I emphasized in my video on the H39, but I want to emphasize it again here because it's something that's really important on the Valentine Mk. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to play pretty aggressively, and we're going to use a combo of aggressive play and armor angling to be able to rack up a lot of kills in a relatively bad matchup. So we've actually got M4A1s and things to worry about on the enemy team. We're going to be fighting T-34s, and those are tanks that could potentially give us a lot of problems if we weren't smart with our armor angling. And what we're going to do is angle intelligently, take our shots intelligently, and use that to pick apart enemies that are much higher BRs than us. So I'm going in as aggressively as I can in my Valentine, which is limited to like 15 miles per hour forward, which kind of sucks, but that's life. That's life in British infantry tanks. And we're just going to move forward and try and pick up some kills. So my game plan at this point in the match was just try and get up to this rock. I think I maybe see a shot of this M4A1, but I don't, and he takes out my gun breach. So I decided to just kind of move on, try and get into cover. You see we bounce a shot from him there. Again, part of that is because we were angling our tank so aggressively, and we were moving at the time. Moving around obviously makes it harder to shoot at you, so if you're in that kind of situation where you've got an M4A1 shooting at you over a ridge, there's really no reason for me to be trying to fight him there. A lot of players would just kind of sit there shooting at him. You don't need to do that. Just move up into cover and go on to the next fight. Trying to fight an M4A1 over a ridge line in a Valentine is never a good idea, no matter how well we angle, so we decide not to do that. So now I'm going to move up. Taking some shots at the Sturmpanzer II. I actually fuck up my shot, but he does get taken out by the friendly M10. And now that it seems like most of the enemies are cleared out, I'm going to keep moving up. I see there's a Panzer III J1, and he bounces his shot, because we're really well angled. And so I'm just going to keep shooting at him. My ping kind of acts up there a little bit. But with my next shot, I make his transmission red, and the next one, I take it out permanently. So he is immobilized, and now I'm going to start shooting into his upper plate, and eventually I'm going to start shooting into his turret. You notice the first time I did pen his upper plate, but now I'm going to actually try and start aiming for his turret. I'm trying to kind of figure out where it is. The reason I start shooting his turret is because I know that he's shooting at one of my allies, and I want to just take out his gunner so he can't do that anymore. So I shoot into his turret, take out his commander loader, shoot into his turret again, make his gunner red, and shoot into his turret one more time, take out the gunner. And that's the life with a tank like this, is you're really limited in what you can do. It's really tough to one-shot people from their full crews, just because your gun is so piddly. Like, you'll be shooting at, like, we're going to fight a T-34 one-on-one later in this replay, and you're going to really kind of see what I mean there. But in that situation, we had to put a bunch of shots into that guy, and it didn't help that my aim wasn't all that good. I did bounce a few shots that I really should have penned, but then again, I was shooting through a building, trying to kind of feel things out, so we'll call it a draw there. So anyway, I'm going to continue to move up. There's an SU-5 here, and I'm actually going to do a kind of trick where I just shoot into the top of his little armor plate there. And the reason I do that isn't because I'm trying to damage him. I'm just trying to see what crew is still alive in his tank, so I know if it's safe for me to move up. Because I shoot him, I get the little hit cam up there in the right hand corner, and I'm able to actually use that to identify which of his crew are still alive. So anyway, now I'm moving up, and there are tanks to my right, but I'm kind of ignoring them, and the reason I feel okay doing that for now while I'm shooting at this Panzerjäger 1 is because I'm angled against both of them. So if there's a Panzer IVe up there, but despite that, I'm giving him the angled hull of my tank, which means that in order to shoot me, he would have had to aim at my turret. So anyway, I turn around, swing, put a shot into him, and he gets taken out before I can actually get a penetrating hit, unfortunately. So anyway, now I'm going to move up. This Panzerjäger 1 shoots at me, so I decide to shoot back at him, and we are actually going to... I don't think we're going to pick up the kill here, but we are going to take out his gunner, which puts him out of the fight temporarily. And now that he's stuck there, immobilized, I start to ignore him because I have more pressing matters to the front of my tank. His commander's out, which means he needs to replenish his crew member, and there's an M4A1 pushing my position. So I really need to worry about that guy a little more than I need to worry about the Panzerjäger 1. So I get into position to shoot this M4. I notice that he's pushing up really aggressively, so I decide to just take a shot, put it into him, try and hit his ammo rack, but low-tier British guns can't always do that. But I am able to take out his gunner, and there's a T-34. And this is kind of an oh shit moment. So I actually back off, and I'm able to shoot him through the kind of awning there. And you'll notice that I aim for his turret. And the reason I aim for his turret is because T-34s, one of their weak spots early on, is the actual turret cheek, the cheek of the turret. You notice that on either side of the gun mantlet of that tank, you can actually pen through the right side of it, and you can take out the T-34's gunner. Then you pen through the other side, take out his loader, pen through the cupola, take out the rest of his crew. So the Panzer 38T gets taken out, and I decide to try and kill the Panzerjäger 1. And you notice that even when I was shooting at that little M2A4 over there, I think it was an M2A4. I don't know, it was a Stewart. But even shooting at that guy, it was really hard for me to actually kill him. I had to put like 3 or 4 shots into him just to take out each individual crew member one by one. And part of this is because this gun just doesn't do a lot of damage. It's very rapid firing, reasonably well penetrating, but you do have to aim for weak spots sometimes, and you do really have to be careful to kind of pick apart enemy crew. You know, again, dealing with that T-34, that's a tank that can be really, really dangerous. But because we aimed our shots well, we were able to pick apart his crew. And this M22 is actually going to get a pen through our turret, which demonstrates, to me, one of the weaknesses of the Valentine. Well, one of the many weaknesses. But to me, one of the big weaknesses is its turret is weak. People can actually penetrate you right through the front plate of your turret. And so what that means is that it's kind of tough sometimes for you to be able to survive people who know what they're doing, because they'll just shoot you in the turret and take out your turret crew, and then you're just kind of screwed because you have 3 crew members in the tank. So anyway, this Lee decides to kind of YOLO rush me, and so I'm just shooting him through the upper front plate. I'm trying to gradually kind of take out his tank, and we are able to almost get him killed, but then we're taken out at the last second by a Crusader Mark III. So big takeaways from this video. First big takeaway, armor angling is really important, especially in a tank like the Valentine, where you have really good side armor. You can angle really aggressively and make it hard for people to pen you. Second big takeaway, with a tank like the Valentine, you really have to take care with your shots and kind of pick people apart using that low caliber rapid firing gun. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'm going to be streaming tonight at 7 on my Twitch channel, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much.